Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's your man, Big B, Brien Hanley. Welcome back to the Big 12 Insiders. Man, I'm excited. Football is here. Today, we got our man, Chad Brindle, who is a big friend of the show, coming back in talking Cincinnati football. They got a big one coming up tomorrow. So cannot wait for that game. Big for Cincinnati, big for the conference, but we're going to talk a lot about the Bearcats today. But before we get started, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in the comments section and let us know exactly what you do and don't like, but hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insider content comes out. First off, Chad, how are you doing today, my man?
Doing good. It's almost here, baby. We put in the work, right? Like we did the preparation. We've been through camp.
Yep.
We got into game week.
Yep.
We had the coaches press conference yesterday. Now it's almost here. Excited to get things rolling tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And we'll come back to that big game tomorrow. But first off, let's just start with the feeling right now with the program overall. Coaches, players, administrators, fans. What's the overall feeling coming into the 2025 season right now?
Boy, that's a lot of different answers. That's a lot of different answers. Inside the locker room, the vibes are good. I mean, they feel like they've got the best team that they've had since Scott Satterfield came on board. They feel like they're right at quarterback. They've got a couple, between Dontay Corleone and Joe Royer and Jake Golday. They feel like they've got some NFL guys. Mm-hmm. They've increased speed at the top of the roster, which I think was severely lacking the past 2 years. So they feel like they're in a pretty good place. Fans are in show me mode.
Right.
And that's not a surprise. You
right.
You went 3-9, then you went 5-7 on a team that was in the college football playoff 4 years ago.
Right.
Like, fans expect more. And they probably should have had a better record. The past 2 years, they've let games get away from them in the, second half, fourth quarter, that, we could be having a completely different conversation if this team was 7-5 last year. Then
right.
we'd be talking about, can Cincinnati jump up and make it to Dallas?
Right. Right.
So fans are in kind of wait and see mode. They're in, for a game in Missouri, they're in show me mode.
I gotcha. So Brendan Sorsby, you touched on him, that they feel like they have it right at quarterback, and clearly, I do. I think a lot of people do. But just taking a look at his game, from last year to this year, what are some of the things that he has to improve on to, number one, take the next step and get the offense going to the next step? Just him. I mean, we'll get to the weapons in a minute, but just him. What are some of the things that he's got to improve on?
I think the biggest thing for him is not putting himself in position to make the big mistake, because he's good enough that he doesn't have to do that. Like, if you go back to the West Virginia game last year, he made two inexplicable throws that resulted in interceptions. If he just eats the sack or throws it out of bounds and doesn't try to force it, Cincinnati wins that game. And they go to a bowl game, and everything is much happier in Clifton at that point.
Right.
But I think, you get that gunslinger mentality, right? And
mm-hmm.
you get in the heat of the moment, and you just feel like you have to force it. You have to make something happen. And that costs them. So he's got to work through that and trust that the next play is going to be there. This one might not be. That's okay. Doesn't have to come on this play. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest progression, the biggest development for him. The other thing is I'd like to see him look a little bit more like he did at the beginning of the season, mm-hmm. where he was hanging in the pocket a little bit longer. He was letting plays develop a little bit longer. I think he maybe got a little gun shy towards the end of the season. And, they get the happy feet, and you hit the eject button a little quicker. And it was like, he's a good runner. So it's not a problem. It's not that you don't want him running. It's that you'd maybe like to see him be a little bit more selective, a little bit more confident that a guy's going to break open. Because it felt like he lost that at the end of the year, where he didn't feel like if I hang in there, I'm going to find somebody, and he would exit. And I just would like to see a little bit more patience in the pocket and a little bit better decision making. And I think that takes him. I mean, he almost threw for 3,000 yards last year, and it felt like he didn't have a great year.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts it together. I think they're in good shape.
Gotcha. So, there's been some buzz about Cincinnati's wide receiving core, bringing in, I want to say it's 5 transfers in.
Yeah.
I think that's the number, but there seems to be some buzz, faster guys, just better football players in general, I guess. Tell me a little bit about that. Who are some of the weapons that people need to be on the lookout for this year?
The main one is Cyrus Allen. Was at Louisiana Tech 2 years ago, 1,000-yard year. Got caught in the numbers game a little bit at Texas A&M last year, but still had a solid year. He's going to be the main one. He'll operate mostly from the slot, but they will move him. So you'll see him a little bit, probably more at the field spot, where they'll shift him out one spot.
Yep.
Maybe at boundary a little bit, but I think you'll see him move between slot and field. He's got some explosiveness. He made a play in the scrimmage a couple weeks ago where he caught it over the middle, made one guy miss, and off to the races. And they just didn't have that guy last year. So what you're hoping for from him, man, if you go back last year, so many like 12, 13, 14 play drives, 14 plays, 64 yards. Like, you're not going to be successful in this league. If you need 10 plus plays to score, you're in trouble.
Right.
And Cyrus Allen hopefully gets them, even if it's not touchdowns, some more 20 and 30-yard plays that, kind of makes life a little bit easier. Another really interesting name is Jeff Caldwell, Louisville guy.
Yeah.
Lindenwood. He was at Lindenwood last year.
Okay.
He was 5'9" going into his senior year in high school.
Oof.
He is now 6'4", almost 6'5", 220 pounds, and he made the freaks list.
Jeez Louise. 5'9", and now he's 6'4". That's crazy.
He broad jumped 11'9".
Oh, wow. Okay.
That would have been like 6 inches past the mark at the combine.
Yeah.
Like the kid is a freak. He'll be their outside guy, big guy, can really run, and gives them a little bit better option on that boundary spot. And then a guy that we've joked all year, Caleb Goody, who was at Colorado State last year, fast. Like Brendan Sorsby has been trying to outthrow him in camp and hasn't been able to outthrow him yet. I thought he got him once, and Goody got his fingertips on it and made the catch. And I was like, well, he tried again, but there should be a lot more explosive at wide receiver.
Gotcha. And you brought up a great point. I want to kind of emphasize it. You talked about the long play drives in this league. Like, it's just not sustainable, and that's anything in college football. You just can't continuously go on because you're not going to be able to do it. Because what will happen is you may go on the 10, 12 play drive, maybe it's 65 yards, but then you miss a field goal. And then it didn't amount for anything. And so that kind of stuff's just not sustainable. Not in the Big 12.
You're going to fall behind the sticks at some point.
That's right.
The running back's going to get hit for a loss. There's going to be a procedure penalty, or something is going to happen to set you back. And you don't want to make your offense overcome that. You've got to be more explosive in this league. And the goal going into the transfer portal was just that. So far, it looks like they've done it. Now, do they have better receivers, or do they have questions in the secondary?
Right.
We're going to find out tomorrow night.
Got it. Moving on, lose Corey Kiner. He was really good running back. Is it by committee, or do they have a guy, Chad?
2 guys. One, Evan Pryor, an Ohio State transfer who was kind of the home run hitter last year. Kiner was thunder and lightning, so to speak. Kiner was going to get those physical yards, and then Pryor, he put on 15 pounds, a little bit more ready to run between the tackles. And then they got a name you might remember that I don't know if you realize they got.
No.
Remember a guy named Tyree Walker at Oklahoma 2 years ago?
Yes.
And he was at Wisconsin last year.
Yes.
Tyree Walker is the power guy.
Okay.
He looks like a bowling ball. I mean, he
Gotcha.
ran for 900 plus yards at Wisconsin, 10 touchdowns last year. Funny enough, of running backs that played in the Power 4 last year, in the Big 12, Tyree Walker is the leading touchdown scorer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All those backs graduated from this conference, right?
Right.
So
they did.
Walker comes in. He's a 900-yard guy. He had 10 touchdowns. That gives them kind of that thump at the line of scrimmage in the rushing attack. So they're really confident with the run game.
Got it. And obviously with the run game, I mean, look, you mentioned it before when we spoke. I knew it. I watched it last year. They just got crushed with injuries to offensive line. Just by having some healthy guys, they got to be better. But what's the O-line going to look like moving forward this season?
I mean, they did lose 3 guys essentially to the NFL. They lost their starting left tackle, John Williams, who got drafted by the Packers. And then the 2 guards, D'Artagnan Tinsley and Luke Kandra, were free agents, signees that Kandra made the practice squad in Carolina. I think Tinsley probably will as well. So you lose 3 starting offensive linemen to the NFL. Not great.
No.
They went out and got a kid from Ball State named Taron Tayo, 320 pounds, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", big physical, kind of the replacement for Luke Kandra at right guard. And then they went out and got a kid named Joe Cotton, who in the spring was the #1 tackle in the portal in the spring. 6'7", 325. All the, when you, like, if you create a left tackle on a video game, it looks like Joe Cotton.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, he's jumping up a level. He came from FCS, so he's jumping up a level. But the physical traits are all there. Long arms, good footwork, 320 pounds, but he carries it well. He looks like you could put another 15 pounds on him and you really wouldn't notice.
Got it.
But he's adjusting. It's been a process to get him fully up to speed, but they feel good about where they're headed offensive line-wise. Plus, they have their center returning, Gavin Gerhardt, a 3-year captain. Not a 3-year starter, a 3-year captain.
Gotcha.
Is how much they love Gavin Gerhardt. So they feel good about the line, and I think they might take a slight step back in run protection or run blocking from where they were last year. But I think they're going to be better in pass protection, which goes back to what we talked about, Sorsby trying to get out of there as quick as possible.
Got it. And having a 3-year captain back at center is a good place to start for the offensive line. On defensive side of the ball, I didn't know this. I did a little research, Chad, and the Godfather is his nickname. Is back. I love that nickname, the Godfather. Back. Look, it was a tough year, and we spoke about this before. Tough year for Mr. Corleone, coming off of blood clots early on in the season. And I know he got back. I understand, but
he was never really back.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if he was back physically, and I know we talked about it before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Even if you're back physically, mentally, I don't know. I just don't know. That's a tough pill to swallow for a 20-something-year-old. Having said all of that, he's back, and he's really, really good, Chad. But who else is going to be really good to kind of change? Because they were middle of the road.
Yeah.
Defensive wise in the Big 12. Who do they got coming back or coming in that's going to make a difference this year?
I think one big name to know is Jalen Hunt. He's a transfer from Michigan State. He had an injury last year, missed the entire season, got hurt in the offseason. He's another 315, 320-pound defensive lineman. He's going to play that run-stopping end next to Corleone. So, yeah, you don't want you don't love a 3-man front in terms of how it stops the run. But if you got Corleone in the middle and Jalen Hunt next to him, you don't feel as bad. You feel okay.
Right.
The question is going to be opposite them on the defensive line. Who gets after the quarterback?
Gotcha.
You're not the 3-3-5 is not a sack defense.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get massive sack numbers, but they've got to find somebody to get some pressure because quarterbacks were all too comfortable standing in the pocket, surveying the field, and making plays last year. The name that splashed the most in camp was a Virginia Tech transfer named CJ McCray.
Okay.
So keep an eye out on him. You might see him at least early, more in passing situations, third downs. He might be the name to look for. Micah Coleman, who transferred from, I think, Central Michigan a year before.
Mm-hmm.
He missed the season with an injury. So last year you had Corleone with the blood clots.
Yep.
The starting strong side end out in Hunt, and the starting weak side end out in Coleman. So
brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So now you've got a lot more weapons, a lot more toys.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Jackson that started last year will be on the strong side. Coleman and McCray. And there's a young name to watch in Marquez Parker, who was a true freshman that played about 200 snaps last year.
Okay.
That he's another one that can get after the quarterback. So that's one to keep an eye on. Linebacker is probably their strongest position group on the roster. All 6 linebackers played heavy snaps last year, including all-conference guy Jake Golday, who was also on the Freaks list. Cincinnati had 3 guys on the Freaks list. There's only one team in the country that had more guys on the Freaks list than Cincinnati. So keep an eye on Golday, Jack Dingle, and then you like a nasty a guy that brings some thump, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Remember the name Simeon Coleman?
Simeon Coleman. Okay.
He also was a true freshman last year. He looks like he's going to start this year on the outside. Okay. So keep an eye on him. He's the guy that big hitter, not a big kid, but he loves to stick his nose in there and really bring some heat. So they're really good at linebacker. The secondary, they think they're better. They got they have 2 all-name team guys. Dontay Corleone.
Yeah.
Okay. Coastal Carolina transfer at corner, Matthew McDoom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a corner or a safety?
The corner.
Oh, okay. I was saying,
feel like he should be a safety. I feel like he should be a safety. He was one of the highest rated corners in the group of 5 last year.
Okay.
So they have high hopes on him. And then Rodney Harrison's son, Christian Harrison, transferred from Tennessee. They're expecting big things from him at safety.
Gotcha. So, look, we're going to move to the schedule here with Cincinnati Bearcats. And, I've been saying all season, the Big 12's got big opportunities week 1 to really step forward. And I think of all the games, this is the one where I don't think a whole lot of people think that the Big 12 can win. Cincinnati beating Nebraska.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, you said it before I could even say it, because for everybody because you know how this goes. Everybody believes Nebraska is going to be this outstanding football team.
Why?
Nebraska is going to win 7 games max at the end of the year, and we all know it. We all know it. I'm not, again, you can call me a Big 12 homer. That's fine. I just don't see how Cincinnati is outclassed in this football game that a lot of people say they are, Chad. I don't see that at all.
I agree.
I think this is going to be close. I think Cincinnati's right there at the end, and they got every opportunity to win.
I was talking to my guy, Dave Simone, that hosts the BCJ podcast with me. It's kind of our main, flagship show on Bearcat Journal. Said he was going through last night. Nebraska had like 30 sacks last year.
Mm-hmm.
25 of them are gone. And it wasn't like they went out and got a bunch of studs on the defensive line.
No, they didn't.
So their defensive line got gashed in the scrimmage from all accounts. Their linebackers are okay. Their secondary seems to be the strength of their defense, which
correct.
They're returning most everybody. But I saw a metric that had them as high as 15 in the nation defensively coming into the season. How? Why? Where? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know.
Who did that?
I
Do I think they're going to be pretty good on offense? I think Rayola's good.
He is.
He's turnover prone. We're going to see if that improves. 13 touchdowns, 11 turnovers last year.
Yep.
So he's got to show improvement there. I don't think their run game's anything remarkable. But they got Dane Key from Kentucky. I think he's going to be a really good piece at wide receiver. I think Rayola's good. But Rayola, if you look at the stats, had almost the same year Brendan Sorsby had.
Right.
So why are we talking about Rayola like he wants to be the next coming of Patrick Mahomes? He thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. But why are we talking about him in one light and Sorsby in another? And they had very similar seasons last year.
Hey, we know why. We all know why. But neither here nor there. I just, again, and
the line's 6.5 for a reason.
Yeah.
If Vegas thought this was a blowout,
that's right,
we'd be talking about a lot more than 6.5.
And they do that in college football, Chad. They do that in college. They don't pull punches like they do in the NFL. Like if you see a double-digit game in the NFL, you're like, wow. In college, they don't pull those punches. If you should blow somebody out 15, 18 points, they will call it right down the line. They are not doing that in this football game. I've seen 6.5. I've seen 7.5. Either way, I give Cincinnati an opportunity. I think this is a big chance for them to win. Again, it's going to be on a national stage, I guess, unless you have YouTube. But on a chance on a national stage for them to, I'm not saying to become a national team or anything like that, but just to basically take a step forward for the program and the conference to say, hold on a second. You know, these teams that you keep saying they're supposed to be so good, we're good too. I think it's an opportunity here, Chad. I really do.
Well, it's critical too for Cincinnati. It's not a must win, but here's the thing. If they lose, nobody's talking about them.
Correct.
Maybe for the rest of the year. Unless they pull off, a 6-0 start to the conference or that something crazy happens.
Right.
If they lose this game, they're out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
If they want to have the type of season they think they can have inside that building, winning this game, nobody's going to move them into the top 25 for winning it, but people's eyes are going to perk up.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Cincinnati might be getting back on track in the Big 12.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the whole point is it's not must win, but it's must play well. But if they do happen to win, then it's okay. And again, it shines a light on them, but it also shines a light on the conference, which in turn helps Cincinnati as well. So, but take a look at the rest of it. I mean, it's not easy. Iowa State, Baylor, BYU at home. And that's the thing. It's not easy, but it's not difficult. That's what I was going to say. It's like you get some of these games at home, and then you go on the road. Okay, Utah, TCU, we'll see. They're supposed to be better, both of them. But outside of that, it's manageable. So I don't want to put, record predictions or anything like that. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I will say this. I think Cincinnati should be a 7-win football team this year. I think 7-5 should be the barrier. And if it's above that, great. Now, not saying if it's 6-6, you got to fire Satterfield. But you know how I feel about Satterfield. I think Cincinnati can do better. I'm never going to back off of that. I'm just not. I'm biased, and I admit it. Having said all of that, I think 7-5 is I shouldn't say easily attainable because this is the Big 12. That's crazy.
It's attainable.
But it is attainable. It's attainable.
That's where I've got them as 7-5.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't think BYU, a lot of respect for BYU. That's not the same team on the road.
It is not. It is not.
So you got Iowa State and Baylor at home.
Mm-hmm.
You win the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
UCF, Arizona.
Yep.
Like you got to beat UCF. You got to beat Arizona.
Yep.
But you got 5 conference games at home. If you win 4 of them, you're feeling really good. And then on the road, Oklahoma State and
that's winnable.
That's winnable. And there's one other road game on Kansas, Oklahoma State. You're looking at it, aren't you?
I'll pull it up here.
State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, TCU, and one has escaped my brain.
That's all right.
For whatever reason. You can get 2 of those.
Yep.
You can get 2 of them. You're probably not going to beat Utah. I'm trending more as the season gets closer. That's my team that I think a team that plays in the Big 12 title game.
Utah, TCU, and Oklahoma State on the road, and Kansas.
Kansas. That's the one I was. Kansas, I felt pretty good about, but watching them,
they looked Saturday, all right. They looked better.
It looked like the offense was back.
Correct.
In sync. Last year, it looked discombobulated for most of the year. So I worry a little bit about Kansas. But you steal one on the road, you get 4 at home. You got 5 conference wins. Add in Bowling Green and the FCS game. Now you're at 7. Nebraska becomes the swing game. You can get to 8. Like, it's there.
It's there.
That's not saying it's easy, but it's saying it's there for them to go accomplish.
And I think, and again, this is me on the outside looking in, and I'll get you out of here, is that when you say that it's there and me and you agree that it is attainable, I think that's kind of what Cincinnati fans are looking for. It's like, look, you got to show me this. Here's an opportunity. Now go do it. You know, I'm not saying you got to go win a national championship, but winning 5 games is not going to cut it when you have the capability of being better than this. It's time to be better than this to get going back in the right direction. I always describe it as this. It's just taking a steady climb up. You don't want to be doing this, but you definitely don't want to have the pitfall when you have opportunity to be better or just be up to your capabilities. Let's just say that. You know, it's one thing to say be better than what you're capable of. That's tough to do in sports. I know people talk about that, and it happens on occasion. But I'll be honest with you, Chad, I don't think it's tough to just live up to your expectations. I think if you don't, then you either got a coaching problem, you got a culture problem, you got problems. But a lot of times, they're not as good as what maybe we all thought they were. And I'm not talking about Cincinnati. I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
So I think the Bearcats got an opportunity, Chad. I really do. And you know me, Bearcat fans, we got a love-hate relationship, so I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. So I think there's an opportunity.
This guy went to Xavier. He's a Louisville fan, and he's a Steelers fan.
The whole trifecta. Lord have mercy. Well, Chad, I appreciate you.
Real quick before I
go ahead.
I got one more name that you need to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Because I think he can be an All-American.
Oh, okay.
Max Fletcher.
Max Fletcher.
He's the punter.
Okay.
His brother Mason was the punter the past 4 years at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Max transferred in from Arkansas. As a sophomore at Arkansas, he was second team All-SEC, over 47 yards a punt average.
Oh.
Max Fletcher, I'm going out on a limb. Max Fletcher will be a Ray Guy finalist.
Gotcha.
He's that good.
Okay. Well, that matters too.
For a team that, you know, we're still wondering, is the defense going to be where they need to be?
Right.
You give me 10 extra yards, 15 extra yards
Absolutely.
every time Max Fletcher puts his foot on the ball. I like where things are trending.
Absolutely.
So keep an eye on Max Fletcher, because Cincinnati lost games because of special teams last year.
Yeah.
They lost games because of special teams last year.
Can do that.
If they can just be average, special teams doesn't have to win you games. As long as it doesn't lose you games.
That's right.
You're in a better position. So keep an eye on Max Fletcher.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And we will keep an eye on it. But Chad, man, I want to thank you again, man, for giving us your time. You're always so gracious to come on. You've been a big help to the channel, helping us grow. For people that don't know, where can they find all the good stuff that you're doing out there?
We're all over the place. BearcatJournal.com, of course, on the 24/7 Sports Network. You can find us, all of our work, on YouTube. If you're looking for Scott Satterfield press conferences, you want to hear from players, we do 4 live shows a week. We also have a nightly show that we do. That's all on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bearcat Journal. And then you can find us everywhere on social media at Chad Brendel, at Bearcat Journal. I'm tell anybody this, B. I'm on year 19.
Ooh,
this is season 19 on the beat.
I love it.
Way too long, brother. Way too long.
I love it, man. We appreciate you, man. Thank you again for giving us your time. Thank you, everybody out there again. Football's back, man. It's all the rumors, all the nonsense that we have to go through in the offseason. We don't have to go through that for the next several months. So appreciate everybody, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.